Hey guys, welcome back. Welcome to all my new subscribers as well. I'm glad you're here and I'm just gonna jump into it. But this video is gonna be about hopefully answering your questions about our renovation. So you saw the final reveal. So for those of you that like short videos and you just want me to get to the point, you just want to see the end result, well there it was. It's 2 minutes, I'll link it below if you want to see it. But for those of you that like longer videos and you want to know about the process and my renovation experience and how I chose my materials and how I planned and organized and designed the kitchen, then this video is for you. And I personally like those videos. So I'm looking forward to sitting down and just talking with you guys and sharing that with you. This is going to be more like me sharing a story with you guys. So going back to the beginning, we really struggled whether we wanted to sell our house or renovate. We didn't know what we wanted to do. We do work from our homes and we have a 3-bedroom home, but we each have an office and we really take up every inch of space that our home has to offer. And one day when we want to start a family, we're like, where are the kids gonna go? And it's just this whole thing. So we started looking for a home and realized that we don't want to start a family anytime soon, and that financially it's just better if we stay where we're at because we're at such a good mortgage and rate and all that stuff. So we wanted to stay here, so we did the calculations and it made sense for us to stay here as long as we possibly can and actually get ahead in life and not raise our expenses as our income raises. We don't want to do that. We always want to live below our means. So anyway, so what we did was we decided to finally renovate the house. And when we came to that decision, it was, well, should we just do a facelift? What should we do? So we got a few quotes of just basically resurfacing the kitchen. And that was like a little bit more pricey than what we thought would be the price of a kitchen resurface. So we thought, well, what if we just got new cabinets? How much more would that be? Well, what if we did this? So then we saw the prices and we decided, okay, we sat back in our kitchen and we really dreamed. If we could get our dream kitchen, if we could redo this to be perfect, to be exactly what we would want, to be the most functional, let's dream and let's see what we come up with. I have my laptop right here because I have my notes on here. I'm just gonna put it on there. I don't know if it's making me look washed out or not, but anyway, so we just decided to dream and come up with what our perfect kitchen would be. We knew that we wanted to knock down that awkward wall. We came up with the idea of closing this in. My whole thing though was I didn't want to lose storage space. So although our kitchen was laid out pretty awkwardly before and kind of open but cut off, it still had a lot of good storage space. I loved the space. So we came up with closing actually this section off. If you remember, this used to be an opening right here. And all this cabinetry made up for the storage that we had on the wall that we tore down. We knew that the cabinets would be taller and bigger and things like that. So we dreamed, we came up with the layout ourselves, me and my husband Mike did. It was both of our efforts in coming up with this kitchen design, and that was so much fun. I love designing it and then seeing the design that we came up with come into reality, come into real life. Okay, so once we knew the layout, keeping my computer awake. So once we knew the layout and we knew what we wanted to do, we got quotes from different contractors. We got at least 3 quotes and definitely get more than 1 quote. One guy never called us back. One guy fought with me on my vision. Like, he didn't really fight, but he did not share the same vision I had. And he was like, well, yeah, you want to do this, but it would look better if you did this. And I don't care if it looked better. It didn't function for me. It wouldn't have enough cabinet space for me. He didn't get that. He didn't get that storage was important. So that didn't work out. And then another company came in and we had worked with them before on the bathroom, on the master bath. They were amazing. They shared my vision. It didn't seem intimidating for them at all because of the angles of this house. It's actually very intimidating for some of the contractors. That's why we never heard back from one. Price actually was the best price out of everyone. And we knew that they had a good track record. We worked with them before, that sort of thing. That's why we picked them. We picked them, and then through the process, then we began to pick the materials that we wanted for our kitchen. So I had always, and the way I picked my materials, this is how that came about. I had always loved white kitchen cabinets. Ever since I was 16, and I would go over different people's houses, I would notice, oh, I always loved interior design, first of all, so I always loved looking and seeing how other people decorated, and I loved white cabinets. And I knew I always loved white cabinets, and I still do, obviously. So on Pinterest, what I did is I started kind of a dream board, and I just pinned what I liked. You know, so if you don't know what your style is, or you know, you don't know what you want, or you like a few different things, just pin. Just go on there and pin and find pictures of what you like, and sure enough, you'll start to see consistencies among everything that you like. And I knew I liked white cabinets. I knew I liked shaker style cabinets. I watched a lot of HGTV too, I still do. So I knew what I wanted when it came to my own kitchen and my own house, really. It's not just the kitchen, I keep saying the kitchen, but we did so much more than just the kitchen. We didn't have internet here, electric here, plumbing here, because all that had to be shut off, moved, rearranged for everything that we did. And it was a lot. But anyway, so I pinned, I knew I liked white kitchen cabinets, and I knew I loved Carrara marble. So did my husband Mike. But we also know, since this is not our forever home, we don't want to go crazy and spend a lot on all the materials. So we didn't do custom cabinets. They actually kind of, they're semi-custom. They're semi-custom. The company kind of, I don't know how that works, but I just know that they're semi-custom. And that saved money. And so the countertops, we knew, okay, we don't want to do marble or quartz, like that's our dream, but we'll do granite because it's more cost effective, but it's still a really nice stone. But I had an idea of the kind of granite I wanted in my mind. And we already knew that we wanted to paint the walls gray. So I already knew I wanted white cabinets. I had an idea of all the style already of what I wanted. So what we did is we went and we met with our contractor, and we went ahead and picked out our cabinets. And honestly, I thought our cabinets were going to be more of a true shaker, but they're not. They actually have like somewhat more of a detail to them than most shakers. So we saw it, my eye went immediately to it, and I was like, I like that one, and Mike liked that one, so we're like, done, let's do it. So it's clean, but it still has some detail on it. And at first, after they ordered it, I was a little nervous. I was like, oh, I don't know if I should have done that. Just should have went with the shaker styles that I originally thought I really wanted. But it really ended up working out that it has this detail, and I'll tell you why in a minute. But so we picked out the style cabinets, and then it came to the color, and there's 3 different colors: almond, ivory, or white. I did not want the stark white because I knew that that would show a ton of dirt. So I went with the ivory because the almond is too yellowy, and I did not want an almond yellow color. And honestly, those look really good glazed, and I did not want to glaze the cabinets. And then I knew that the ivory had more of a gray undertone to it, and we were painting the walls gray. So that was perfect. Okay, so we picked out the cabinets and the color, and loved that. And then we moved on to the fixtures, and I already knew because I had been pinning the kind of fixtures that I like. So again, we picked out these pools, and I know I really wanted the like tall, big ones, but it wouldn't have looked good with all of our cabinets. And I basically like having all the pools the same, and if we went with the really long ones, then they couldn't be the same. So we went with these, and I love them. And then we went to go pick out our faucet, and I did not have a vision for the faucet. So we looked at the ones that they had and weren't really crazy about it. So our contractor went online and showed us some of the options, and my husband loved the faucet that we have right now. At first I was a little leery. I was like, I don't know, that's like really clean, really modern. I like it, but will it look good with everything? And he said, yes, trust me, it will. It's square. We know the island's gonna be square, the sink is gonna be square. We knew we wanted a big sink, you know? So I was like, okay. All I wanted was a sprayer, and I wanted it to be tall enough to fit a pot under. And so I was nervous it wasn't gonna be tall enough, but it was. So we got it, and it just fit, and it goes perfectly because it's our kitchen is really a blend between, I would say, just very classic, but also clean and modern. And so it kind of blends the two together, and that's what I love. I love that blend. And the faucet really creates that blend. It's that cleanness, that sharpness that we like, but then we have like the molding on the top of our cabinet that makes it very just classic. I guess transitional, I don't know what you would call it, but basically I like to mix styles to come up with what I like, and that's exactly what we did. So I loved adding the modern elements but the very classic elements. So we did all that, and then it came time to pick our granite. We wanted to pick our granite before we picked the Backsplash. And by the way, the reason why I knew what color I wanted to paint the house is because I've been wanting to paint the house for 2 years, even before we redid the kitchen, because I love to change things. So when I was thinking about what color I wanted, I was like, oh, gray would be so nice. I love the gray, I love the restoration hardware. I pay attention constantly to design. Every time I go somewhere, I pay attention. I'm pinning things. I pinned a lot of gray. I liked gray. I wanted a warm gray. So we knew we wanted gray on the walls. And anyways, so we went to go pick out our granite, and I had an idea. We wanted something basically that looked like marble, that was lighter, but that had some swirl in it. But we knew that the tones in it would just need to reflect the tones that we were going for. And we found in my other requirement, I know I wanted some silver flecks in there, some sparkle basically. And we found this granite. It was perfect. It's called Aspen White. That's what it's called. It's called Aspen White. So if you really love our granite, that's what it's called. It's level 1 or level grade A or whatever you call it. It's the cheaper, set, and so that's what we wanted to stay with, the cheaper. And I loved all the expensive ones, but we found this one, and we couldn't believe it was the level of granite that we wanted. And so it was perfect. It has the flecks, has the swirls, and the colors in it are just perfect. So we just were thrilled. So we picked that. That was so much fun, going to the granite yards and picking the granite. Our contractor told us where to go. He also recommended some tile shops for our Backsplash. So again, we knew that we needed to stay within a certain budget with the Backsplash, and our contractor, he told us what we needed to stay within in order to hit our target price. So I knew I had two visions in mind: a marble herringbone pattern, or I wanted like a white subway tile. After we were picking out the different materials, the marble herringbone was my number one. That's really what I wanted, because the white subway tile was just a little too neutral for what we wanted. I just think the herringbone marble, it gives us that marble aspect that we love, because we love marble, and it just looks more special. I just think it looks more special. That's why we went with that. So we went to tile, and I told Mike my vision for that. And Mike knew too from the beginning about, even that he really helped with the layout, but I told him, because I had more specific thoughts on what I wanted as far as the cabinetry, the granite, the Backsplash, and I told him my vision, and he was right on board. He loved it. So we have very similar style. It did not start off that way, but now our styles really molded, and we get each other, and we're both very, very happy. So I told him what I was looking for. I showed him a few pictures, and he said, I love it. And we went searching until we found the perfect herringbone marble pattern and the price, and we found it. So we're really excited about that. So that's how all that got picked. Along the way, when it came to the lights hanging above our island, I'm pointing to the lights right now. That actually was Mike's vision. I would have picked probably 2 small chandeliers if this was just me, but it's not, and he doesn't like those. So I put the chandelier over the dining room table, and then we picked something that we both like over the island. And I have to say, he picked them out, I ordered them, and they're perfect. I love them. He did a really good job. I knew we have very tall ceilings within this whole space, so I knew I wanted a larger baseboard because the height can handle it. I'm really big on doing things to scale, and as a matter of fact, I even think our dining room light isn't really to scale, and it kind of bothers me. So, but anyways, so I'm really, we knew that we wanted the big white baseboard, and then we also got decided along the process to pick out all new doors and all new trim, and we did that because our doors were hollow before and literally spackled on. with it to the hinges. It was really annoying. Anyways, I gotta move on. This video is gonna be way too long. But basically, that's how we picked our materials. That's how I came up with my vision, and that's how we designed it. Oh, I never talked. Okay, so after we dreamed and we came up with our dream kitchen, then we got the quotes from the contractors, and it was actually a lot more doable than what we thought. So that's why we went ahead and we spent the money to do more of our dream kitchen in this space. You know, this isn't our dream kitchen. If we could really design our own house with a kitchen in it, but for this space, this is the perfect kitchen for this space. So it ended up cost-wise just it did work out. You know, we did spend more than what we originally wanted, but we had time to save. You know, this was 5 years coming. So of the going back and forth, and once we decided, you know, we're very cautious of that. So, and also, whenever you plan to do renovation, and let's say you save up cash and you save up $20,000 to do your kitchen, well, you need to at least have another 10 on hand, because it's always going to be more than what you saved up for. Always. And especially if you're doing cash, you will come across issues, and if you just run out of money to do what you want to do, then you're stuck. You can't do anything until you save up more cash. So always have more, or count on, like, if you know you did save up 20, we'll do a $15,000 or $12,000 kitchen, because it will be more. It's just, that's how it goes. It will be at least 20% more than what you anticipate. Just a tip, it will. Okay, so overall, doing this, we did move out. I could actually do a video on how we prepared for the renovation. So I'm not gonna talk about that here, but we definitely extensively prepared so well that when the workers came in to destroy everything, they actually thought that we just bought the house. That's how well we like moved out and taped everything up and that sort of thing. And we're like, no, we've been living here, we bought it. And so anyways, so if you want to see a video on that, you know, let me know. But basically, we tucked everything away, and then we went to go live with our parents. And we couldn't have stayed here. Like I said, we run businesses from our home. We need the internet. We need plumbing and to take showers and things like that. So we moved in with my parents for 2 months, and that actually went pretty well. Like we were both like pretty happy. Yeah, we were in my old room, which is really funny. So thank you to my parents for letting us live with them. But yeah, that went fine. And then we moved back in close to Thanksgiving when everything was done, and we cleaned. But that's more of a renovation preparation video. And during the time of the renovation, it of course went a lot slower than what we thought. It went a lot slower than what they said. But what really made things tricky is the management of the company that we chose decided to switch managers. Or basically, we had a contractor, his son took over the business, his son took over our project, and our main contractor actually retired. We did not know that this was going to happen when we signed that contract with them. And let me tell you, if I would have known, I wouldn't have done it with them, because that made things that made the things that went wrong really go wrong. Because the main contractor we love, his son, basically the main contractor under-promised and over-delivered, which we believe is how you run a business, right? But his son did not think that way. He thought, I'm going to overpromise and underdeliver, and that's what he did. So much so, this actually, what you guys don't know is this backsplash had to be done twice. Because the first time they put it in, they put the herringbone in pattern wrong. They put it in horizontal, not vertical, or vertical, not, they put it wrong. And it was extremely uneven, to where when you turned under the under-counter lights, it just looked like it was a hack job. It was horrible. So we finally, you know, so they redid that free of charge, because that was their issue, their fault. And then something else went wrong too. But they did fix it. You just have to stay on top of things. You need to pick someone that you trust, first of all. And we trusted the father, basically. He still stayed involved, and when we got upset when things went wrong, he did handle it, even though he had stepped out of the picture by then. So we're thankful for that. That was the most frustrating thing about the experience. But you also need to ask questions. Don't be afraid to ask questions. Don't be afraid to ask why. If they tell you something can't be done, ask why. One thing that we wanted to do, they were like, well, it can't be done. I was like, well, I don't want that. So how can we figure out a way? And they figured out a way to do it, and it did not cost very much at all. And then another thing though, like that we wanted done, they just couldn't do. It was just almost like engineering, we just couldn't. So engineering wise, it really would have cost too much. So educate yourselves, make sure you ask them questions, pick someone that you trust so that you know if they say, well, we can't figure out a way, you know that they really can. Or if they say we really can't do it, you know they're telling the truth. So don't be afraid to ask questions, ask why, and pick someone that you trust. And also guys, even though we weren't living here, we were here every day. Like every day to see the process, to make decisions, to talk to the contractors. When they were here, we were here. And we weren't here the whole time, you know, they were here working, but we had to be here at some point because decisions needed to be made. Like when it came to the island, it's gonna come out this far. You know, should we move it over here? Should we do this? What about the stairs? What about the flooring? You know, and then coordinating the flooring company that we picked was different than the one that did most of the kitchen, and the painter that we picked wasn't involved with the contractors either. They were all separate, and so we had to coordinate everyone working together. And on top of that, that was just really crazy. My husband actually handled most of that. He's really good at that kind of stuff. That's his natural skills. That's what he does for a living, you know, coordinates contractors. So he did that stressed me out, but he did a really good job, and everyone that we hired did a really good job, all said and done. And even the guy that we hired to finish off the AC duct on the top, and let me tell you, I'm so glad that we did that, because again, we have high ceilings. Having that extra space on top of our cabinets that looks like molding that's really covering our AC just makes it look finished and beautiful and perfect. And had that been flat like we originally thought, I don't think I would have liked it as much as I do now. So it really brings height and grandeur to the room, and because we have that molding on top, it really ties in with the molding on the kitchen cabinets. So it's just perfect. So yeah, we're done. That was my experience. I'm really glad we moved out. Stay on top of it, trust your contractors, take your time. Take your time in picking what you want. Take your time in figuring out your style. Take your time in figuring out the contractors. It takes time. It takes time to get it done. And if it's gonna take longer to get it done right, it's worth it. So I really, really encourage you to just don't rush and just, you know, do a hack job and get it done. You know, I mean, if you flip homes for a business, that's different. But if this is your own home, you just want it done well and you want it done right. So take your time, be patient with it. You know, make sure that you know what you want before you select it, because you're going to be spending a lot of money on this and you want your money to go far. This is going to be a large investment that you spend, and it's probably going to add value to your home. So it's worth taking your time and figuring out what you want, who you want to work with, that sort of thing, in order to really do it well. And I'm so glad we did that. So yeah, let me know if you want like a reno preparation video. I know this video is longer. It might be a little bit boring for some of you because it's not going to be fancy. It's definitely going to be more casual, but this is me. But more videos to come. I'm really excited you all are here, and I will see you all soon in my next video. Bye.